It's lovely to meet you, Dan. Would you mind telling me a little bit about yourself, maybe give a short introduction?
My name is Dr Daniel Stewart and I am the CEO of ViridiCO2. ViridiCO2 is a startup from the University of Southampton, which is utilising technology that was developed during my PhD studies here. And ViridiCO2 enables chemical manufacturers to transform carbon dioxide into high-value chemicals.
So tell me about your spin-out project, ViridiCO2. What's the science behind it?
So ViridiCO2 is based upon my PhD work where I was developing solid-state catalysts, that is heterogeneous catalysts, that are capable of directly transforming carbon dioxide in the production of chemicals. We focused on the production of polymers. Polymers go into everything around us and we use them every day without knowing. They go into furniture, into cars, into your phones. And we have developed a solution which enables manufacturers to transform carbon dioxide under far milder temperatures and pressures than anyone else in the market.
Oh wow, it seems like a really novel concept there then.
Yes, absolutely.
What are the benefits of capturing carbon like this for manufacturers developing these products and also for consumers?
So at the moment, there is no real scalable solution to utilise carbon dioxide. There's lots of talk in the past about sequestering carbon dioxide, pumping it under the ground and hoping it stays there. But there's no real utilisation mechanism, and this is what our technology provides to chemical manufacturers. Carbon dioxide is a waste molecule. There are so many processes that produce it, and we can't avoid some of those processes. So what we're allowing is, by using our technology, we can take that waste carbon dioxide that would otherwise be released into the atmosphere and use it to make chemicals that have value and that can be used every day by people in the general public.
For sure, yeah, it really sounds like it's sort of encapsulating that sort of reduce, reuse, recycle, the circular economy, all that type of thing.
Absolutely. So the circular economy is one of our biggest focuses, that we often produce so much carbon dioxide. 51 billion tonnes of greenhouse emissions are released every single year, and 80% of that is carbon dioxide. That's 51 billion tonnes, which is a huge amount. Mm-hmm. And we're offering a way to actually take that CO2 and turn it into something useful, so valorising carbon dioxide in order to make circular products.
And how did your studies at the University of Southampton contribute to this work?
So I studied for my undergraduate degree here in 2011, and it was actually during my third year lectures with Professor Robert Raja in the School of Chemistry that inspired me to go into this research area. It was sustainable chemistry lectures, and they focused on making industrial processes cleaner and more sustainable. And it was during those lectures that I decided I want to go work for Robert and do a PhD. I graduated in 2015. And I returned in 2016 to start that PhD with Robert. And from there we sat down and we decided we were going to have a crack at trying to solve the carbon dioxide problem. So starting somewhere nice and easy. And it went from there. We focused on a very specific set of technology that we then developed over the next 3.5 years through my PhD. And during that process, we found something that worked amazingly well, and we filed patents based on that. And at the very end, we decided the best way to bring this to the world and to chemical manufacturers was to spin out a company. And so that's what we did.
Going forward, what do you hope to achieve with ViridiCO2?
It's the goal of ViridiCO2 to play a pivotal role in achieving global net zero emission targets. We want to be the CO2 solutions provider to huge CO2 emitters, to not only allow them to derive value from their waste, but to play a role in trying to solve this climate catastrophe that we're charging towards. And that is one of the main drivers of why Robert and I founded the company, to make sure we can actually play a part in a more sustainable future.
Absolutely, and not really any better time to start that up now than right now, really.
It's not been difficult to market.
Yeah, I bet. In your opinion, do you think it's important for businesses across all industries to become more sustainable?
Absolutely. I think it's really important that companies are planet-driven, that the corporate bottom line shouldn't be the dictating point. It should be that companies are focusing on the sustainability of their solutions as well, because otherwise we're not going to be here to use companies' technologies in future if if they don't start being more responsible for their actions and the way they derive their products.
Absolutely, yeah, and it really seems like there is more now than ever a really big push towards sustainability.
I think there is a huge shift in focus now. Climate change is not something that is readily debated now like it used to be. I think everyone is accepting that there are going to be huge consequences if we don't make changes, and companies are taking that into consideration. It may not be the number one driver for a number of companies, but it's certainly their second driver. And ultimately it comes from the public demanding it as well. Everyone is looking to improve their sustainability in some aspect, and that fortunately is driving company decisions, as it should.
Yeah, for sure. And as you said, it seems like there really has been a big shift in consumers and big businesses as well. So
I agree.
It's really great to see.
But what's quite important to consider is sort of the general public can only do so much. They are restricted by availability, by costs. I mean, I'm sure everybody would have an electric car, but unfortunately, due to the prices, they're not accessible to some people. So really that means some of the responsibility has to shift to companies.
Definitely.
And they have the ability, the resources, the money to be able to start transitioning their technologies towards more sustainable ones. And they have to lead the way in doing that.
Absolutely. And sort of on that note, really, do you think more could be done to reduce carbon dioxide emissions in our atmosphere? I know we've sort of spoken a bit about the positives that are all going on, but in your opinion, do you still think there's quite a long way to go?
Yes. Especially in the industries that we're trying to target. These industries have had very established production lines for a number of years, and what we're trying to do really is bring about a paradigm change in the way materials are produced. And that is a very difficult process to bring about. You're telling companies to change the processes that make them money. And if they are potentially in danger of making less money or having a less established production line for any period of time because you're trying to bring about a new process, that is detrimental to their business and their own sustainability. So it's very hard to bring this about, but I think the impetus is there, and companies are investing in greener technologies that have a better planet focus.
Absolutely, and it really seems like what you guys have done with ViridiCO2 is actually bring about actionable solutions to this problem, because for a while it's sort of been a case of people are aware of the problem but not really sure how to fix it. So it's
yeah, very much so. We are targeting companies that are very early in the supply chain. So the materials that we will be allowing chemical manufacturers and foundation industries such as sort of steel, cement, iron, mining to produce are never going to be used by you and I on the day-to-day basis, but they go into the products that people use every day: mattresses, car seats, everything. So what I'm hoping is we can actually influence every side of it, that you can start producing products that people can buy and know that has got carbon dioxide in it. And they're actually beginning to save the world by buying those products. So there's impetus for companies to do it, but there's also impetus for the public to invest in those materials. And that makes for a much more sustainable supply chain all the way through.
And finally, what do you hope will be accomplished at COP26?
In my view, COP26 is a fantastic event, especially the fact that it's happening in the UK, to raise awareness in the UK and across the entire globe of the real emergency that is the climate catastrophe pending if we don't sort this out. What I really want to see come out of it is governments agreeing upon legislation which almost forces companies to hit targets which reduce their CO2 emissions, that force them to invest in greener technologies, because there's so many great technologies out there in different sectors trying to do great things, but until there's investment in it, it's going to be very difficult for those to scale. And really it's not just about scientists coming up with solutions, it's a collaborative effort. It's companies willing to invest, it's the private sector putting money into these things, and government has a huge role in accelerating that. So policymakers, ambassadors, they all need to come together at COP26 and make some really sort of hardline legislative decisions in order to accelerate the changes we need to see to ensure our sustainability.
Absolutely, really sort of push towards that shift now, I think.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Oh, well, thank you very much for joining me. It's been absolutely great to meet you, and best of luck with your endeavours.
Thank you very much.